Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. In this video, we will be going over how to create a sales order within Mozi. To begin, we start at our home screen. This is also known as your app dashboard. Now we'll start in the Sales app. When we click the Sales app, we enter the Sales dashboard. Across the top menu, we see multiple different tabs. If we click these tabs, we have a drop-down. Let's start with the quotation option. We select quotation because in Mozi, it's important to understand how the flow works. Everything in Mozi begins in the quotation stage. From the quote stage, you may proceed into confirmed orders or wherever you need to go from there. First, we will click Create in the top left to create our new order. We begin by selecting our customer. For this example, we are going to use Test Company. So I can start typing and I pull up Test Company. The invoice and delivery addresses are pulled from the customer contact record. You may delete the text in these fields and select different addresses if necessary. We will go over how to create different invoicing and delivery addresses within a contact record in a later video. By default, it populates whatever address you put in the first time you create the record and pulls that information here. So we will leave that by default. Our next two options, quotation template and contract template, we will leave alone for now. We will go over how to create templates and using them properly in a later video. The partner tag dropdown is tied to the customer contact record and should be left alone. If you are unsure if you should add other tags, it may be helpful to talk to management or discuss with another team member. The next dropdown, which is an important one, is the commission code. This will determine how commission reports are broken out. It is important to select the person or persons that are applicable for commission for this order. Next, you can select your order date. By default, Mozi selects the time you are creating the quote. This may be changed if you desire to. You may also select an expiration date if your quote is set to expire over time. Price lists and payment terms are both pulled from the customer contact record as well. You may select different options within these dropdowns, however, it may be best to ask for help from either a manager or another team if you are unsure which one to select. We will leave the default price lists that are already tied to this customer. We can then go ahead and set our payment terms. Now, other payment terms can be added, but we will discuss how to create these payment terms in a later video. For now, we can start typing our different payment term and decide which one we need to do. The PO number field is the purchase order number placed by your customer to your company. That is not to be confused with the purchase order number if there is one associated with this sale from you to your vendor. The ship via field may be utilized if your company uses a specific carrier, or another example is to put best way. In this way, it can be determined at a later date and you can change this field. After we enter our basic information, we see a few tabs under these fields. We see order lines, suggested products, other information, and comments. Let's start with order lines. This is where we begin to add our products. We start by clicking Add an Item. When we click Add an Item, we have this pop-up appear. We start by entering our product name. And for this example, we are going to use refrigerator. We have him here. If there is not enough inventory for what you are trying to sell, Mozi will display a warning message, letting you know you do not have enough inventory. Mozi will not prevent you from making the order, it is just a helpful reminder to let you know you may need to create a purchase order. So we can click OK and move on to the next step. You may change your order quantity if you'd like. Let's change this to 2. You can change your unit of measure. If applicable, we'll leave it at each. And it may let you know, again, that you do not have enough inventory. Mozi will pull unit price and cost from the product record. You may change these prices, however, if applicable. You can simply hover over and delete the info and type in a different product. Or a different cost. You may set a discount here if applicable. We will put a 10% discount, and the next field will be your route. Remember, the buy or stock route is you selling an item from your inventory stock to the customer. This route will not create a purchase order in the back end. The make-to-order route is a route used if you need to have a unit purchased and brought to your warehouse, and then you ship it to the customer. This route will create a purchase order in the quotation stage, and it will be linked to the sales order. The last one is dropship. Now this route is just like a standard dropship, where you will be directly shipping from the vendor to the customer. This route will create a purchase order in the quotation stage linked to the sales order as well. So we can click the drop down here and select which route we would like to use. For this example, we will use make to order. The next drop down is the supplier drop down. This is where you can select which vendor this item is coming from. This is important because it will make the created purchase order out to this vendor. So we make sure that we have the correct vendor set. If not, we may change this field. Now over on the right, we see taxes. Taxes are pulled from the product record and should not be manipulated. We leave these alone by default. You may also set a delivery lead time if possible, or if applicable. Also, you can put an analytic tag. This analytic tag will tie this order to a specific project if necessary, but we will discuss how analytic tags and projects work in a later video. Now, before saving your record, you can type a description. Now, the description is pulled from the product itself. However, you may change this field if you need to. Once you have finished all your information here, you may either click Save and Close to add your item, or Save and New to begin adding multiple items. You will have the same pop-up happen again. It will just be a fresh screen. For this video, let's go ahead and hit Save and Close. We see our item gets added in, and we see all the fields that we were just entering. You may add and delete as many items as needed while your order is in the quotation stage. You may delete an item by clicking on the trash can in the far right of the line item, just over here. Now that we have entered all of our items into Mozzie, we can click the next tab, Suggested Products. This will not be the scope of this video, so you don't have to worry about that for creating your product or creating your sales order. Our next tab is Other Information. Now really the only important piece here within this tab that you want to pay attention to is the salesperson. This by default is set to the logged in user creating this order within Mozzie. This does not tie to your commission, but you may change this if you desire to the salesperson that is also getting commission. It will help for reporting reasons, but it is up to the company what you wish to do. The rest of the information we leave set by default and we will be pulled in. Our last tab to discuss is the Comments tab. This is where you can enter comments in either the top or bottom of printed documents. Now these are open text fields, so you can begin typing, change the fonts, different things, or you can select different templates if you would like. Now once all of your information is correct and you have double checked everything, we may click Save in the top left corner to save our quote. From this point, we have multiple options we can do. We may send this quote to a customer by email by clicking the Send by Email button here on the left. Now, once we click that button, we have this pop-up. Within this pop-up, we may edit and design this email if we would like to. Notice that Mozzie has the option for your customers to accept the quote from the email, which is right here in the middle, and you have the PDF form of this quote automatically attached. Pretty cool stuff. Once you are satisfied, you may click Send, and your quote will be sent directly to your customer within Mozzie. And that will be sent by email. Another option you can have is you could print this. Now you could click the Print button, and it will create a download option for you. Sorry, it will create a PDF option, and you can then view the item, or you could come up and click Print. And if we have Google Cloud set up, this will print directly to your machine. So it is important to note the difference between the two prints. You have the Print button here, which will create a download link for your PDF, as well as you have the print here, which will actually, if Google Cloud Print is set up, print to your local machine, your local printer. Another option you may do is to leave the quote alone until you are ready to either confirm it or whatever you need to do with it. Mozy will keep this quote until it is either confirmed or deleted. Our final option is to confirm the sale, which turns your quote into an official sales order. This action will trigger the creation of associated purchase orders if applicable for your situation. In this example, since we selected the make-to-order route, an associated purchase order will be created. So let's go ahead and click Confirm Sale. And we can see that our quotation, we went from the quotation stage to the sales order stage. This conducts creating a quotation/sales order. Thank you for joining in and see you next time.